Take one bite of a mysterious fruit, and your biology immediately rewrites itself. In an instant, you become a towering dragon, or a blazing pillar of living fire, or a force capable of shattering the air with a shockwave. But this transformation comes with a permanent cost. The moment you swallow that fruit, the ocean rejects you, stripping away your ability to swim for the rest of your life. This biological diagram illustrates the first law of this system. The human body can safely house only one devil fruit core. Attempting to consume a second fruit causes the host's body to fracture and collapse. Beyond the ocean itself, users are rendered paralyzed by a specific material called sea prism stone, which radiates the same energy as the sea. This creates a direct trade-off. You gain the power of a god, but you become vulnerable to the most common element on the planet. The most common and unpredictable category is known as Paramecia. Unlike other types, Paramecia fruits focus on two specific areas. They either permanently alter the user's physical body or grant them the ability to manipulate their surroundings. On the bodily side, a user like Buggy can split his limbs into floating pieces, while Doflamingo can generate razor-sharp strings directly from his fingertips. On the environmental side, Trafalgar Law can create a spatial zone where he controls the placement of everything inside, while Whitebeard can generate quakes that travel through the air and sea. Because Paramecia abilities are so varied, opponents can't rely on a single strategy. They are forced to adapt to a new set of rules in every encounter. The second branch, Zoan, shifts the focus away from environmental control and toward pure biological transformation. These fruits grant the user an animal form and a hybrid human-animal state that increases their physical strength and durability. This taxonomy tree shows the Zoan hierarchy, starting with the normal subclass. These fruits, featuring common animals like dogs and oxen, provide a reliable baseline for enhancing physical combat. The scale increases with the ancient subclass, where users gain the traits of prehistoric beasts like dinosaurs and mammoths for massive brute force. At the top sits the mythical subclass. Fruits like the azure dragon or the sun god Mika are the rarest in existence, combining extreme physical power with supernatural abilities like flight or self-healing. In the Zoan category, a user's ceiling for physical dominance is dictated by the rarity of the creature they become. The final foundational branch is the Logia class, widely considered the most terrifying to encounter on a battlefield. A Logia fruit converts the user's entire body into a natural element, such as ice, magma, or light. This transformation grants absolute intangibility. As you can see, normal physical attacks simply pass through the user without causing any damage. To fight a Logia user, an opponent must use a willpower-based system called Hockey to force the element back into a tangible human shape. Logias act as the gatekeepers of power. You cannot defeat them with physical force alone, requiring instead a mastery of spiritual combat. But what happens when a user pushes past the established limits of these three categories? They reach a stage known as awakening, where the devil fruit reaches its absolute maximum potential. Awakening allows a user's power to bleed out and alter their surroundings. We see this in the way Luffy's Gear 5 turns the ground into rubber, or how Law and Kid can apply their abilities to objects and enemies at a distance. Awakening proves that a fruit's classification is only a starting point. At the highest level of mastery, the user's intent overrides the previous limits of the fruit's power. It is tempting to look at the magma or darkness fruits and assume they are the most powerful based on their destructive capacity. However, a fruit's true strength is dictated by the creativity and discipline of the individual wielding it. As the story enters its final saga, these fruits are being recontextualized as biological archives. Recent revelations suggest they are repositories of ancient history, carrying the genetic memory of a world that existed long before the current era. Every devil fruit represents a lifelong bargain. You surrender your connection to the sea in exchange for a single supernatural ability. Knowing the cost of the curse, which fruit would you choose to consume?